This Elden Ring Gameplay Preview came out yesterday, and I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I've been waiting, I've been holding off. I watched the first minute, and I have to record this, so I'm going to play
Peggy
without
16.
further ado. Muting while I just talk over this intro, because as I say, I've already seen it, and it's just a guy talking. But just that first minute I saw certain things, and I was like, yeah, I have to record this because it looks amazing. I've been looking forward to this game for a while. And hey, first thing, post Metroid Dread, I'm going to be moving on to new content. So let's unmute and let's go ahead.
In the lands between.
So I can't wait. Like the first minute was pretty awesome.
This is a site of
I want to see the full
grace,
20 minutes.
acting as a place of rest for the player.
This was nothing too exciting, just
Occasionally,
bonfires.
grace will manifest rays of guiding light.
And apparently a way to tell us where to go.
Of course,
Seems
we're free
reasonable.
to choose whether to follow this guidance or head off to explore in a different direction.
This was the part where I was like, okay, I've got to fucking record this, because this is... Holy shit, what are those things? Oh, it's basically, it's like Dragon's Dogma, but dark fantasy. I love it. Dragon's Dogma X Dark Souls, in terms of aesthetic and just everything. Very Dark Souls in terms of the slow cadence of the attack patterns. But obviously mounted combat is brand new. If you consider this an extension of Dark Souls, which let's be real, it is. And looks like we've got more kind of synced animation attacks, like we saw that eye stab there with the dragon. It's going to be a move towards more of a mainstream AAA game, an attempt to bring that Dark Souls love and fan base into something that's more accessible, maybe.
Alexander, also known as the Iron Fist, and as you can see, I'm stuck here. Please, can you help me out of this?
Weird Dark Souls NPCs.
Put those doubts to rest. I'll be just fine. I'm very well trained. Give it your all, I say.
I had to check I was recording. Had a sudden moment of paranoia.
Well played, good sir. Well played. Though that mighty wallop of yours almost spelled the end of me.
I don't know why they had to spend so long on that. It's a training dummy. We get it. You're very proud of your weird training dummy. Fair enough. You had to show it. We all have things we're proud of.
The map can prove useful when exploring the world, and is populated by acquiring map fragments.
Beautiful map. Do you say
Fragments.
it's what?
The world, and is populated by acquiring map fragments.
Okay. Shut up and stop talking over it. What is that?
We
What
can
does that
use
mean?
markers to customize the map, such as setting reminders for the location of crafting materials or dangerous enemies.
I love this. Big Breath of
Beacons
the
can
Wild
also be
song.
placed to help with orientation. Beacons placed on the map appear in the world.
Breath of the Wild. I know it's not the only one to do it, but big cues because it's the best open world game. that's been made so far. Breath of the Wild, nothing has beat it yet.
Spirit springs can be used while on horseback to launch high into the air.
It's pretty cool.
This allows for stress-free traversal of areas with a great deal of verticality.
I was gonna say there's a lot of verticality in this world. I really like it. Another great part of Breath of the Wild's open world. We got lightning. I'm guessing like weather is going to play a part, a small part, similar to Breath of the Wild, like a little quirk of the open world that can play into combat, perhaps. The horses are really pretty super horsey. Guitar. Violin. Whatever. Cello.
The carriage over there is carrying treasure. An opportunity too good to pass up. We'll prepare for combat with some item crafting, using materials found in the world.
I'm not crazy on crafting in games, but like a small amount is good. Good? Good, great, good. But I'm not a huge player of like survival genre games. I have nothing against them, just there tends to be a lot of tedium in those games.
Enemy stance can be broken with heavy strikes, such as when attacking from above.
So we got stance, straight from Sekiro, because that's a great combat mechanic
A variety
that I
of
want to
unique
talk about a
attacks
lot.
can also be interchanged between weapons.
Oh! Ooh. Ooh. I was gonna say, that animation, the insta-kill with the great sword, or whatever it is, looked almost exactly the same as the Dark Souls one.
In more perilous situations, we can summon spirits to assist us in battle. Spirits vary greatly in type, so we look forward to players experimenting and finding their personal favorites.
Okay. We got pawns of a sort. Those of you who played Dragon's Dogma will know you always had pawns. Makes sense for a Dark Soulsy game. And these being separate, we've got the classic
Online
Dark Souls
multiplayer
mechanic.
can also be enjoyed with players from other worlds, from cooperative to PvP and invasions.
Same as ever. But there's a lot more like world traversal going on in this game, which is a good move because I think the strongest part of Dark Souls has always been its world, honestly, and it like look at this. If that's all explorable,
Deadly
which it
creatures
looks like it
stalk this
is,
forest, so we'll use stealth
it's
to
going to be
avoid
incredible.
detection.
I know I'm a bit of a fanboy for Dark Souls world, but look at me. You know, I'm a huge fucking Berserk fan. This is blocked by the microphone, but R.I.P. Kentaro Miura.
We've come across a boss guarding this area. We'll take it on with the help of our co-op partner.
We've got open world bosses to find, by the looks of it. Which is interesting, I like that. I like searching, I like discovery in the world. That's a really underrated aspect of games that a lot of mainstream gamers don't talk about. Just the fun of exploration, of finding shit, of seeking it out. And not just having things kind of right in your way or obvious. That's why I like Metroid games. And to a certain extent Zelda games, but I just like to search. I like to explore and find hidden shit, you know? But a fucking Kamehameha. Let's just scroll back through that combat. Someone's talking through it a bit. I mean, So you can summon dragon heads to spew stuff out. Is that the whole character's fighting style? Spewing shit out of dragon heads? I feel like they've just got all kinds of crazy magic. I would imagine the character power level is kind of up to this game a bit to match with open world and possibly facing off against more enemies at a time. Open worlds just lend themselves to power fantasy really well. And with it coming more into the mainstream, I estimate, maybe not as difficult as the Dark Souls games. Maybe we'll even have difficulty
caves,
options.
Mines, and
Doubt
other
it, but
dungeons can be found while out exploring the world. These dungeons each hold their own secrets, from hidden treasures to fearsome bosses.
fucking patches. Half expecting a trap. It's just mimic. I want to see someone get trolled. That would be too funny to put in the gameplay trailer. But was they trying to promote cooperation? I need to do my video talking about the Metroid Dread design, David Jaffe, a bit of Dark Souls stuff, and it's some philosophical stuff relating to David Jaffe's thoughts on Metroid Dread.
Traveler from beyond the fog, I am Melina.
Seek lest.
I offer you an accord.
We've reached Stormville Castle, a large-scale dungeon which connects seamlessly with the surrounding Limgrave region.
Is that real space, just like Dark Souls 1 and 3? Because I want to explore these areas. They look incredible.
Come over here, would you? You're tarnished, aren't you? I would advise against taking the main gate into the castle. It's tightly guarded by hardened old hands.
Voice actor.
Try the opening right here. The guards don't know about it. You'll breach the castle undetected. Fair enough. You certainly don't have to trust me. Well, if you must go through the gates, I'll signal them to open. But of course, I'd advise against it. The gates! Open the gates!
It's just so fucking weird. This world. They had to show us that, didn't they?
The main route seems risky, so we'll try entering through a back way.
Not sure about that jumping. Looks a bit floaty and non-precise, but certainly more forgiving than in Dark Souls. You never want to do much serious platforming in a Dark Souls game. Oh, why the captions are
Extra care
so
should
far
be taken
behind.
when moving through dungeons, as visibility and terrain differ from when in the open. We hope players enjoy getting a feel for the different types of areas and coming up with suitable strategies for each.
Stab him. Oh, this is gonna be brutal, isn't it? Been a while since I really sunk into a Dark Souls game. I didn't finish 3. And I didn't finish Sekiro yet either. I think I got burned out on them. Though Sekiro's amazing, and I need to finish it. Sekiro is amazing.
Dungeons are complex and multi-layered, meaning they can be tackled from a number of routes.
I like that a lot.
Ah, nice to meet you.
Again,
The
taking
pleasure's
cues
mine.
from Breath of the Wild.
Roger is the name. A sorcerer, as you might have guessed. I'm looking for a little something here in the castle. When I'm not hot-footing it from the troops, that is. But enough about me. What are you doing here in Stormville Castle? This place is bristling with tarnished hunters, you know. They sacrifice our kind for grafting. Not exactly a place I'd stroll into without a purpose in mind.
Grafting. Sounds interesting. Got a
In
boss.
this next boss fight, we challenge one of the demigods, ruler of Stormvale, Godric the Golden.
He's gonna get his fucking ass kicked, isn't he?
Mighty dragon, thou the true born heir. Lend me thy strength, O kindred. Deliver me unto greater heights. Well, lowly tarnished, plain as a lord. I command thee kneel.
More weird Ludwig-esque characters.
Lord of all that is golden.
Sick boss music. Yeah. I love boss tracks from this series. There's some nice juicy blood sprays. Chunky. Interesting. But super souls. Spirits, whatever they were called. Horns. I guess you expend them. They're like Pokemon. Like consumables, though. A lot of people seem to have that spell with the dragon head. Though, I guess for him, it seems to be part of his actual art. He's actually got a dragon head grafted on. Which explains the grafting comment. That is pretty fucking gnarly. Not gonna lie.
Thank you for watching.
That's
This was
it, that's
just a
what we
brief
get.
introduction to Elden Ring's fundamentals, but more details will be revealed at a later date. There's not long to go now before release. In the meantime,
When
we
is the
greatly
release?
appreciate
Someone must explain.
25th of February. Yeah, that's
flame.
not long.
They will fight. And they will die. For how else is a champion to be born?
Yeah, this might have to be a release one. We might have to play this on release. I think I have to play this on release. I think I'll be done, I'll be mostly done with Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker by then. So, after Endwalker, my schedule is actually... I was gonna say my schedule is relatively clear. But we've got Total War Warhammer 3 in February, the 17th. Followed by Elden Ring a week later on the 25th. So that's gonna be tight. And I might have to say Elden Ring at launch, unfortunately. Because, let's be real, Total War, Warhammer, these games get better over time. Although, I do want to play at launch as well. Play a little bit of Total Warhammer, and then we'll play a little bit of Elden Ring. I think 2022 is going to be a fucking nuts year based on just the games we've seen coming out. We've got Breath of the Wild 2 coming out. We've got Avowed by Obsidian in the Pillars of Eternity world. I'm very excited for that. There's just lots of games that I'm very excited about coming out next year. Very excited about. And I think it's going to be bloody exciting to be an action RPG fan. But yeah, back on the topic of Elden Ring. There's nothing super crazy. But I like that they're, you know, I'll reserve my judgment until the game is out. It doesn't look like it's a crazy step forward for the series in terms of combat. The combat looks almost the exact same. But the exploration and world searching seems like it might be a step up, or maybe I'm reading too much into it. I may be reading too much into it in the exploration side of things, the search action side of things. But it looks like a very beautiful world to explore. The question is, are there going to be sufficient hidden secrets to motivate the player, little breadcrumbs to explore the world? That's always the key, is that you want to make it rewarding enough without making it feel mandatory, like there are X number of things you need to find. You want to make it just fun. Rewarding, but not so rewarding that the player feels paralyzed and unable to move on without finding everything, you know? And I have high hopes. We will see whether it's a successful experiment, because Elden Ring will be massively successful regardless of the reviews, I think. There are a lot of people who are going to buy it on day one. And even if it's, you know, like a 7 out of 10 game, which is never going to go lower than that, you're going to get a lot of people defending it, and just because it's part of this FromSoft franchise, and the fans of FromSoft games are like cultists now. You're never going to persuade them that their game isn't good. And I'm not suggesting it will be. I'm going down this road because I'm thinking speculatively about all of the options, whether this game lives up to the hype or doesn't, and what could happen if it doesn't live up to the hype. Because apparently I'm a massive weirdo and like to go against the grain. But no, I think this game is going to be good. There's some magic about it that kind of captured me.
Dangerous enemies.
I think the most exciting thing for me, weirdly enough, was the map. Yeah, just looking at this map back now, I don't know why the map is what gets me excited, but it just looks like a very nice
Beacons can also be placed
world
to help with orientation.
I mean, look at this. Where's the player on here? Does it actually show the player?
The map can prove useful when exploring the world, and is populated by acquiring map fragments.
Will we be able to sail across the sea? Because it looks like there's a fragment of the map very notably
We can use
cut
markers
out
to
there.
customize the map, such as setting reminders for the location of crafting materials
to be able
or
to.
dangerous enemies.
Looking over to the left, see what I can see out past the peripherals.
Spirit springs can be used while on horseback to launch high into the air. This allows for stress-free traversal of areas with a great deal of verticality.
Interesting that they're using the phrase stress-free in relation to a Dark Souls game. It does look less stressful than a Dark Souls game. Somewhat. But I hope there are going to be some really horrible things wandering the open world. You know, just really horrifying shit. I don't think the game will let me down in that regard. They never have before. You know, obviously not necessarily in the open world, but in every game there's at least some horrifying shit. To memory.
The carriage over there is carrying treasure, an opportunity too good to pass up.
They can go further there. Because I think
We'll
the most
prepare for
horrifying
combat with
things
some
are
item
just
crafting.
giant. And that's where the open world can go. I just want it to scale. I want horribly giant monsters. I want some, like, Shadow of the Colossus. You know what I mean? Anyway. It's just my first impressions of the trailer. I know I'm, like, way late. But I am excited about this game, and so I wanted to record this. And I hope one or two of you out there found this entertaining to watch. As I broaden my horizons and return to business as usual, to an extent, following Metroid Dread. I have other plans for more quality content videos, but hey, these things are fun to do, fun to put out there, and if you enjoy them, they're very easy to make. So, yes. Anyway, this has been a very late night recording for me, but thank you for watching. And have yourself a wonderful morning or evening or whatever time it is wherever ye are.